MVP Matt Rambo on that left side. He was held scoreless last week.
Held scoreless by a rookie in Brendan Lavelle. Joe Nardella coming off a big game, 13 of 17 in week 1 against the former Denver Pioneer Alec Stathakis, who played for Bill Tierney in Denver. Stathakis wins the faceoff. Waterdogs in the white, Whipsnakes in the black. Nightfall in the Queen City. And here comes Stathakis, accelerates, shoots off the mark, and Michael Sowers will go dig it out. We get our first look at the Sowers-Zappitello match.
Of all time, Joe Nardella. And it just so happens that he's in the same era as a Trevor Baptiste, but Nardella is just incredible. 76% last week, led the league in face-off percentage a season ago.
And he's a complete lacrosse player, right? He could stay and play O, he could play D.
Reception to boot.
2013.
Oh. This guy was under-recruited. He went to St. John's. Like every single level in lacrosse, he had doubters.
Last year, he scored 22 goals, the most he had scored in a pro season since
2013. This guy was under-recruited. He went to St. John's. Like every single level in lacrosse, he had doubters.
Last year, he scored 22 goals, the most he had scored in a pro season since 2018, when he had 36 for the Florida launch of the MLL. 2-1.
Guy knows how to coach.
He looks happy.
Yeah, he knows how to coach. Second all-time in wins professional lacrosse history.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't happy coming out of timeout. Just similar shades to what we saw in week 1 in Albany offensively. They're getting the opportunities. They're not burying them. I mean, to put it into perspective, last week, 22 of 41 shots on goal.
Trap him on defense after the face-off win, and they immediately attack that matchup.
Now for Brad Smith, that's got to feel good. Didn't play last year, only played 5 games in 2023. Back, healthy, and able to contribute.
What a dangle there by Ware.
Ben Ware tried to shovel that out of this game out on the concourse. He said McCardle's got a cheering section tonight that's about 200 deep. Nardella off the face-off win. Trail check, Kenny Brower. Orion Brower was a guy who didn't play last year. Second-round pick out of Duke.
Did a great job of following that original cut.
Witcher took that face-off. Stathakis violated last time. The Waterdogs have been able to manipulate that matchup and get Sowers free from Zappitello.
And likewise with McCardle. And I think what's also impressive with those guys is they're not afraid to go mano-a-mano at the matchup itself. We've seen that with McCardle specifically. But they know these are the guys we need to get the
hours. Since we're in Charlotte years ago when the Falcons had Michael Vick, the Panthers drafted Thomas Davis for the sole purpose of that's a guy who has the feet and the speed and the agility to spy Michael Vick.
How'd that work out?
Not too bad, actually.
Okay. I'm not familiar with...
Has some flexibility in terms of where he wants to play. If you're Jim Stagnini, you can put Carroll in attack or midfield.
Not to mention, out of high school, Clark, he spent the majority of the time on the B team. He told me during championship week that Georgetown was his dream school. He was going there regardless. He didn't know if he would ever play, but he had that work ethic.
Up until that point.
So to your point, Muller, who's so good inside air traffic controller, Taylor can finally breathe.
Correct, because they got that switch on a dunk.
And getting to know the guys, being around them, being a leader, and he said just as much as I invest in them, they also invest in me, so cool perspective.
Yeah, he's a wonderful ambassador for the game. I love Rob Pennell, love spending time with him, his work ethic. The way he wasn't known as a shooter, but I did see plenty of action from Smith over the years playing in the middle of the field. He'd come up to the mid-stripe on rides, always carrying the ball over the midline. He probably exhausted more mileage than any close defender last year. He was averaging about 6 to 7 miles on the GPS every game. Look how nonchalant it is, too. It's just like, okay, whoop, BTP, running out of angle, no problem. We saw so many ridiculous things out of Jake Taylor. The twisters, the BTBs, the backhand shovel shots.
Nardella.
We'll talk about it at halftime. Hopefully we can get through this with, sticking it, with this being down this much or less.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
He was talking about the pick game, and I recognize that too with Kenny Brower. When he's getting taken up top, there's a heavy dose of the pick game. A lot of assist talk tonight. Joe Nardella too. That's something to watch. He's one of the all-time greats.
Crash it, crash it, crash it. Crash them back. Start to the pole.
Face-off win by Philly.
Switching from left to right.
And he goes right up vertically and then snaps his wrist and puts some English on it.
But the quick switch also throws Carroll off, because a lot of guys from that angle, Ryan, they switch their hands, and there's 2 or 3 beats once they switch their hands. 7 and counting.
One away from the single game record currently held by Matt Rambo. Not a bad way to start the season. 7 assists. Remember, Philadelphia didn't play last week. Now a turnover.
To put him fielder of the year at the University of Virginia, top midi in the country. And I think when you put him around all these passers, kind of unlock his greatest strength, which is off ball.
Coach Tierney, a hat trick. Oh, he's all over the defense.
You know one thing, if you're a long pole for Lars Tiffany, you know how to handle the ball in the middle of the field. And those guys had the green light in college. That ball dies near the sideline. Stathakis flips it to Freehill, rookie out of Denver.
4 hills to back it up, right?
Yeah, he's got pretty quick feet.
That too.
Stathakis had the face-off one. Now Philly in attack mode. Freehill.
Stathakis is holding up. Towards the end of last season, he made his presence felt. Game-winning goals, playoff hero at times, and then last week he really was a non-factor.
He had the game winner in the semifinal upset of the Atlas. Young man from Calgary, Alberta, played at St. Joe's. He's like you at Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
Back and forth from the kitchen. What do you need? I got it.
Who are you talking to?
Who am I talking to at the dinner
Who's
table?
he talking to?
I meant Kark, but I guess you apply too, right?
Maybe not on
Look,
Sunday
you might
night.
be able to
maybe
pass.
Not on, maybe stick. If you're trying to hunt a matchup and you look at those 3 guys,
Yes.
good luck.
And then to add to that, Ryan, we were questioning the close defense for the Philadelphia Waterdogs. None of them have really been beaten for goals. Malone had a couple, but outside of that, like, Stagnita's searching for answers
I don't
here.
think the Whipsnakes have the Dodgers. Rogue with that decision, and so Coach Tierney was like, wait, what's going on here? He's not in midfield. It's like, no, he's on attack.
Face-off won by Nardella. Stathakis has done a good job otherwise in the second half. And a turnover.